So Tyson Fury was present at the Frank Warren show last night. He talked to the BT commentary and presentation team for quite a long while to formally announce his fight against Tom Schwarz, which will be on June 15th at the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. And he said Schwarz is a young, unbeaten, fresh and ambitious fighter, and it's going to be great. I can't, wait for it. I'm looking forward to it. And already, if you look online at the announcement of this fight, it's being billed as, you guessed it, being for the lineal heavyweight title. Now, to be completely fair, as I already said in the video where I was talking about the rumor of the Schwarz fight happening, to be completely fair, Tom Schwarz is ranked in the top 10 by 2 of the sanctioning bodies. When it comes to the BoxRec rankings, and I don't really care much for the BoxRec rankings, I think he's ranked number 30 or 35 or something in the world. And a lot of people are going with that rather than going with the WBO and the IBF rankings where he's ranked in the top 10. Look, I'm not here to defend Tyson Fury's choice of opponent. At the end of the day, he says he'll fight any man, anytime, any place, anywhere, and that he's the lineal and he's the real champion and the other guys are just pretenders and etc., etc. When you talk yourself up that much, you have to back it up when it comes to the opponents that you're selecting, particularly when you have a choice of selecting more recognized opponents, more accomplished opponents, that you choose to go with some obscure German heavyweight who hasn't beaten anybody of note at all, rather than fighting a Kubrat Pulev, rather than fighting an Oscar Rivas. These guys have got opponents on their resume who we recognize, opponents on their resume who do have some ability, whereas Tom Schwarz doesn't. So from that perspective, in terms of Tyson Fury practicing what he preaches and backing up his boasts, I can understand why people are very critical of this fight. But if you go back through the course of boxing history, there are many champions who, after a big fight against a top opponent, they would take on a lesser known opponent. And my biggest concern with Tyson Fury and this whole lineal claim is that he would go down the George Foreman route and pick guys who were not even ranked in the top 10 of any of the major sanctioning bodies. But because he's lineal, he'll bill it as being for the heavyweight title. Okay? Now, some people might say that's what Tyson Fury is doing. and Tom Schwarz is not much different from the likes of Lou Severese and Crawford Grimsley, the guys that Foreman was fighting in the 90s when he was lineal champion. While the other fighters who were around back then, the Holyfields and Lennox Lewises and Tysons, were fighting real opponents and they were not called lineal, but yet Foreman had this lineal status and he was fighting absolute jokers. Well, again, Tom Schwarz is in the top 10 of 2 of the major sanctioning bodies. So if Tyson Fury had an IBF belt or a WBO belt, he could still fight Tom Schwarz. My concern was that he might pick somebody not even in the top 10 of any of the sanctioning bodies. Okay. And just because we don't know Tom Schwarz, it doesn't necessarily mean Schwarz can't fight. Again, I have watched a couple of his fights, or skimmed through them at least, and I didn't see anything particularly impressive. I'm not going to lie. But you don't really find out what a fight is about until he's in there with someone who really can fight. And then you'll see whether they can sink or swim. So I don't want to write Tom Schwarz off completely. I suspect he's probably not a very good heavyweight, but he is unbeaten at the moment. I don't want to write him off completely and say he's absolute garbage just yet. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But again, Tyson Fury, in terms of his boasts and calling himself the man and fight anywhere, anytime against anyone, he turned down the Deontay Wilder rematch to fight Tom Schwarz. That's what he did. Okay? If Anthony Joshua had done that, he would have been crucified. If Deontay Wilder had done that, he would have been crucified. And in fact, Deontay Wilder has to fight Dominic Breazeale regardless. But he did have the opportunity there to sign for the Anthony Joshua fight too. He turned that down. But what Tyson Fury. But we know Dominic Breazeale. He's a known quantity. We know he's tough. He's been in there with top fighters. He's come off the floor to win fights. We know what Dominic Breazeale's about. Whereas with Tyson Fury, he turned down the Wilder rematch to take on someone most people have never heard of, an obscure German heavyweight. So he's going to come in for criticism for that, and I totally understand it. I get it. But I don't want to write Tom Schwarz off, as I keep saying, just yet, because I've been around in boxing a long time, and I've seen fighters who were supposed to be nobodies turn into somebodies. You know, Tom Schwarz, just when you think of his name, Tom Schwarz, he doesn't sound like he's supposed to be good. But maybe the Schwarz is with him, you know, may the Schwarz be with you. Shout out to older heads who understand that movie reference. May the Schwarz be with you. I'm not talking about Star Wars. I'm talking about a different movie. Yeah, may the Schwarz be with you. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. It's now official. Fury will fight Tom Schwarz. For those of you who are particularly familiar with Schwarz, maybe you've done your homework and your research more than I have, and you've watched several of his fights. Is there anything that you've seen of this young man which you think can trouble Tyson Fury in any way? Do you think he's as bad as some people are making him out to be? Or do you think that people are maybe being a bit unfair? Drop it all in the comments below. Let me know how you feel. It's happening, I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.